Ready. Play.
Madison Keys will be very comfortable getting into the forehand to forehand rally. That's where the American would have the advantage. Has that ability to change direction on it very comfortably as well. Every now and then, Rybakina can get a little tentative on her forehand side. So it's going to be important for her to continue to attack the ball. That last forehand, she was able to get her body weight more behind the shot, get that extra depth and the spin she needed.
Both got similar first serve speeds. They're up around the 175 km/h. So two of the biggest servers on the women's tour.
Yeah, backhand to backhand, Rybakina can go toe-to-toe with anybody. That is the side that will hold up a little better under pressure. You can see early Keys trying to change direction, trying to get into the Rybakina forehand.
Loves the forehand cross-court rally, Rybakina. Has improved her forehand down the line, the change of direction.
Yeah, sometimes she can just slow the racket head speed up a little too much when she's trying to go down the line with the forehand.
It's good stuff. It's a confident start from the number 6 seed, Rybakina, 1-love. Well, we might just check in with Storm Hunter, who's joining us courtside. Storm, a warm afternoon.
Good afternoon, Josh and Chanda. Yeah, it's pretty warm. There's a lot of clouds around, but yeah, it hasn't stopped the heat coming through. You can really feel it down here. And yeah, it's going to be interesting for Madison Keys. She has played her last 2 matches at night time, so it's very, very different conditions. It's a lot livelier today. And also just her preparing for this match is very different to preparing for a night match. And as we know for Rybakina, she's had that back issue in the last match, so we'll be keeping a close eye on her movement and her health early in this first set.
Great to have you alongside us for this one, Storm. As we take a look at the win predictor, Rybakina 58%, Madison Keys 42%. Is that fair, Jan?
I think it's fair. I mean, this one is a close one to call, but I would probably give Rybakina on paper the slight edge. I think the intangibles right now go to Madison Keys. There's been something we are seeing in her game where she's been able to elevate, so this is a bit of a toss-up for me.
I always feel excited when I get to watch Madison Keys because she's such a free-flowing player. I know she's more than capable of going deep. I'm just sort of waiting for it to all come together where she can really shine and maybe go all the way and win a Grand Slam.
Yeah, Storm mentioned she'd been playing at night, and she kind of mentioned, Keys, that it would be nice to play earlier in the day, that she ends up getting a lot of these late night matches, and at this stage of her career, to be able to be out and done earlier in the day would be welcome. So this certainly getting what she asked for.
And it's actually a good point that Storm made, because the conditions, you know, if you're watching at home, you may think, well, it's a tennis court and how can it change that much? But it really does. As you play under the lights at night, there's that humidity, the moisture in the air gets in the ball, it slows it down. And then the heat starts to dissipate out of the court. So once there's heat in the court like there is today, it gets in the ball. It's a rubberized ball. It becomes lively. So, yeah, let's just keep an eye on Madison's control today.
That's terrific hitting from Rybakina. She had a little more time off the net cord and able to lean into the forehand. Early opportunity. We don't often see Rybakina miss that kind of backhand, especially on a break point, but Keys doing a good job handling, throwing in some change-ups there. Rybakina not as comfortable moving forward, so she won't take those balls out of the air as often.
And Chandler, I definitely feel with the racket change and the string change from Madison Keys, now it's got a lot more shape on her second serve kick. So she's actually taken a bit of pace out of that, but the shape and the kick actually gets up a little higher. So it's working well. And I just wonder here whether Rybakina actually is going to step in, and because she's a tall player, got long levers, whether she'll look to attack that.
Yeah, it's not going to be as easy for Keys to get the kick out of Rybakina's strike zone, especially going out wide to that backhand side. So it's going to be a shot she has to throw in strategically, try to keep Rybakina guessing. And it seems at times Keys tries to vary her toss a little bit, where you can't just read it and camp out one area or the other.
So saves a break point, Madison Keys, and we're at 1-1.
Yeah, just talking about, you know, conditions and playing at night where ball slows up a little bit. I think Keys just asking for.
Yeah, asking for a towel on each side of the court, so she doesn't have to walk all the way across to the other one. And you only get 25 seconds between points, so it's smart to have a towel at each side of each end.
Still got some people moving in. There's free movement in between games, so just a little extra time there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right on.
Yeah, when we were looking through the stats prior to this match, this shot here, the forehand down the line, she's been using that 60% of the time and having a success rate of winning the point 70% of the time when she goes there. So I just feel, again, I know I'm talking about the racket change, but she has the confidence to go for that shot.
Yeah, last year she spoke about making the changes, going to a wider string pattern, that allowing Keys to have more spin, and also going to a poly, a different string than the gut she had been using to get that extra bit of control. So all of it was to try to get control along with her power. Now she's been playing, testing out the Jannik's racket along those lines as well.
And Chandra, it looks like when you look at the racket of Madison Keys, she's going to commit to it because she's got the stencil on the strings. Oh,
she wants to play with. She wants to play with this stick.
Yeah, that generally means she's signed a deal with them now, and she's getting. She's got a contract, and they're going to pay the bills. We didn't see that stencil last week in Adelaide, so I'm sure winning Adelaide is confirmation of it in her own mind.
Make your choice, then you put your agent to work.
Yeah.
Go get it done.
Well, she's such a marketable player, Madison Keys. She's very popular, had a great career, does a lot of good stuff off the court.
She's looked comfortable in these early stages. Had to fend off the break point in her serve, but now she's got an opportunity. I think definitely enjoying slightly quicker conditions than what she's had in the evening.
There it is. It's the first break for a confident Madison Keys. Off to a good start. 2-1 first set. And we are on Margaret Court Arena. It's women's fourth round action. And it's a fast start here for Madison Keys, looking confident. Up an early break.
Keys got past Danielle Collins in her last match, but the round before that against Elena Gabriela Rousset, Keys struggled, and I think it was because of the slower conditions. Rousset was playing well, struggled a bit with her serve, but she was able to work through that match. Rybakina now stepping up. But by the end of that match with Rousset, Madison was playing at a very high level, and that is why she was able to edge Rousset out, and I think that has just helped her settle in more to conditions here this year. She also didn't panic in that match, and I think when you get through a tight one like that, 7-5 in the third, just allows you to feel a lot better about your game when things get tense against better opponents. That last forehand is indicative of some of the margin Keys is able to get on her shots now, and a little more consistently. Good height over the net, bit of space away from the lines.
It's confident, isn't it, from Madison Keys, and Storm will just check in. It's looks like full sun on the court now, and things really starting to heat up.
3 games to 1.
Yeah, definitely the sun has poked its head out from the clouds, and it feels another 10 degrees hotter down here. But Maddie Keys doing an amazing job on serve. She's really mixing in that kind of slow kicker, trying to get it out of Rybakina's hitting zone, but then going fast and hard to the body. So doing a really good job on serve, and Rybakina looks pretty good right now, health-wise.
Yeah, no signs of the back injury.
Not at this stage. She's looking like she's moving pretty well.
Okay.
Like you spoke about earlier, she doesn't really give much away, so it can be hard to kind of read the emotions. She doesn't show much, so even as an opponent, you've got to bring your own energy. You can't rely on her giving you any energy on her side of the net.
You're backing it down the early break, so it's important just to steady yourself, hold here, and then look for more opportunities on the Keys serve. She's had a few more unforced errors here in these early stages, Rybakina. That hasn't helped her cause, but it's just the one break of serve.
Goran Ivanisevic there in shot. He's just taken over the coaching reign 2 weeks before Christmas. They started together in Dubai. And of course, Goran having such a successful run with Novak Djokovic.
Back-to-back doubles, making this game more complicated. It's been part of the struggle for Rybakina so far. Those back-to-back misses, 12 unforced errors now.
That will help. Clean ace gets the line. Madison Keys still in front with a break. 3-2 first set.
Keys leads 3 games to 2.
Having a free swing on return, but it's all about holding serve. So Madison Keys from the US in good form, 19th seed, but with the win in Adelaide on the weekend, her ranking already up to number 14 in the world, and she's very much looking like a player destined to push back into the top 10 with the form we're seeing. That's brilliant defense, isn't it? That is great stuff. Excellent moving from Madison Keys.
And not forcing more than what she had, Keys. She went to the slice, the bit of a change-up, and countered it, the angle from Rybakina, with a terrific drop shot. She's got fantastic hands, Keys, showcasing it there. It's almost impossible to create that kind of angle from how far back in the court that Keys was. And Rybakina was not expecting this. Nowhere near it. Keys at the Melbourne sign. Melbourne. I'll say it right.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Oh, wow. What a game we're seeing from Madison Keys. I'm getting excited. I just think this could be the year for Madison Keys.
Well, you talked about her down the line forehand, which she's been hitting well, but this down the line backhand, that has been a kill shot for her, and it's come out of nowhere. Some crucial moments in matches.
Another comfortable service game, holds to love. So 4-2 first set.
That was some great defense by Maddie Keys. She's obviously not often known for her defense, but she was back behind the Melbourne sign there and hitting those slices, and she looks so strong and really comfortable moving side to side on some of those points, and that's really paid off and can show the confidence that she has in her game right now.
In a match like this, you know, with a couple of big servers, you know, if you happen to get the early break, that early opportunity, even if you get a couple of misses and that's the result, you know, it's sort of taking the gift and then running with it, knowing that your opponent's going to start serving better. They may start hitting winners again. And for Keys, she's one of the best, I think, at doing that, at just using her serve after a break, using her serve and playing high percentage, but still aggressive tennis. I think that's why it's often hard to recover if you go down a break against Madison Keys.
Well, we saw when she gets the early break, Madison Keys goes on to win that set 93% of the time. So a very good front runner.
She's making smart selections in terms of her shots and where she is in the court. Even that forehand sliced, slowing the pace up a little bit. It allowed her to get back into the court, and it threw off Rybakina's rhythm on a side that she likes a little more pace to rely on.
There it is. The forehand down the line.
30-14.
Done so much damage this tournament and brings up a break point.
Yes.
Such a weapon to have, isn't it? The big first serve for Rybakina just gets herself out of a lot of danger.
Now that one, Keys had a good look at. One of the goals against a big server is to give them as few unreturned serves as possible, trying to get the serve back, whatever means necessary.
You know, you talk about unreturned first serves.
Yes.
49, so call it 50% of the time Rybakina hits a serve, it's unreturned. That's how many free points, and that's how well she can hit her targets, Rybakina.
Now, right now, she's at 33% unreturned, so Keys getting a few more of those back in play.
Just pressing here a little.
Advantage, Keys.
Yep. Again, landing a first serve.
Yes.
But you just want to make a server like Rybakina have to work a bit harder, not get the usual missed return,
Yep.
easy point, and Keys is doing a good job of that so far.
Advantage, Rybakina.
So saves 2 break points in the end and manages to hold on. Elena Rybakina. Good start though for Madison Keys. She turned into a really fan-friendly, intimate court.
She's taking on the challenge, Keys, of moving the ball early, not giving Rybakina the same shot 2 and 3 times in a row. And the down the line has been lethal.
That's it.
Just from down here with these new balls, they are absolutely flying. And Rybakina's a tall player, but that got up over her head and she was not quite ready for that bounce.
It's just been a fantastic serving performance so far in this first set.
Yeah, I mean, 70% of first serves in for Madison Keys, and we know how damaging the serve is, winning 75% of those. That just is so confident when I look and watch Madison play like this. It's easy, she's not forcing the power. 5-3. 123 miles an hour.
That is strong, and she's doing equally well behind the first and second, so there's no real tension right now. She's, as you mentioned, not forcing play, and
becomes a bit of a habit, doesn't it, when you win?
it does, yeah.
You just sort of just can ride that wave of momentum. You almost forget how to lose it when you get on a streak that Keys is on.
Fantastic. I mean, both these players hit the ball big. And Storm, I'm curious, courtside, do you see a big difference in how each of them produces their shots? Is one a bit lower over the net than the other?
Definitely Rybakina's ball is a lot lower over the net, and Maddie's doing a great job to just get that height and shape, especially when she's out of position.
I mean, she doesn't win this point here, Keys, but we've seen that 5 or 6 times she's gone to the chip forehand return, which I really like. It keeps her in the point, doesn't it?
It's a neutralizing shot off of a big serve. It doesn't give Rybakina something she can crush in the middle of the court. She's got to wait on it.
I think that's an improvement for Keys. I think years gone by, she would have liked to have taken a big cut at it. And yeah, of course you can make a couple, but you also miss a lot.
And Keys also knows that Rybakina is not necessarily looking to move forward. She's not going to serve and volley. So, you know, that's a play that she can comfortably go to if she's not behind the ball to her liking. And it just allows her, again, to be more relaxed on these shots.
Well, just pressing a little. She's struggling on the second serve. Rybakina only 5 of 16 points, 1 on the second serve. It's low number for her. And that is a set point for Madison Keys. Wow, that's a huge miss for Rybakina. And that gifts the first set to Madison Keys. 6 games to 3. Elena Rybakina, and it's been a good start though for Madison Keys. Has taken the first set 6-3 and will serve first in the second.
Love it.
She's got a great record, Madison Keys. Once she wins the first set at the Australian Open, she's gone on to win the match 26 times. Only lost 2 of those matches, but has 26 wins. So a very, very good front runner. Now this is really
2 double faults
out of character
on this deuce side for Keys to start this second set.
Storm, it shouldn't be the sun.
No, there's no. The sun's not in the way, and there's no wind, so
it's
very weird.
Almost the opposite end, isn't it? The sun. Such an important game, isn't it? The first game of a set, a new set after you've won that first set. You just want to really keep that momentum.
And for Rybakina, this is a prime chance to try to negate that first set. 2 double faults from Keys, and yet she missed that forehand. 15-30. She gets a chance.
30-40.
Real drop off in the focus of Keys here.
Feels like it's a bit of a dip in concentration, isn't it?
She did sit patiently while Rybakina went off court and maybe just got a little flat in those few minutes.
Yep, that is a strong start for Rybakina. I'm sure Keys will be bitterly disappointed about giving that game up so easily.
Yeah, that was really interesting, those 2 double faults. It almost looks like her ball toss. She just kind of lost her concentration and rushed it when it wasn't the right ball toss. And then those 2 unforced errors didn't quite move her feet. So potentially a bit of lack of concentration. Like you said, she did sit at the change of ends. She didn't get up and hit serves or, you know, did some movement or talk to her coach, which we see a lot of players do. But she'll try and regroup now and get back into this return game.
Now with a break, 1-love.
And this is Rybakina's opportunity. Keys' level has dipped. I mean, she was at such a high level in the first set. You figure she had to come down slightly, but this has been a dramatic come down for the American.
Yeah, she's really struggling to find the court all of a sudden.
And that's just a lack of footwork. And Rybakina, this is a prime opportunity for her, and she's got to get herself going just a little bit more somehow.
Lights. Person.
Been a struggle area for Rybakina. Those slices from Keys that stay a little bit lower, a little slower rhythm. And she dumps another one in the net.
Well, we've seen it 3 times. In the last 3 break points, she's gone down the forehand of Madison Keys. So that's a clear area where she feels that she can land a first serve. She'll have more success on the Keys forehand.
Advantage, Rybakina. Lights. Person.
Keys very deep to return here. Well, gets out of trouble. Rybakina saves a break point, and fair to say she's still not at her best, but very much in this match now with a break in the second.
Yeah, it's big, this shift right at the beginning of this set. And Rybakina just getting herself going enough at the end of that game, got her feet into position behind the big return from Keys, and just redirected the forehand to close out her service game. So good awareness from Rybakina. She's got some momentum.
It's like she's got a little cautious with her shots, Madison, and then is feeling a bit uncomfortable swinging out. And when she does swing out, then the ball's really flying off the racket.
It seemed like she has just lost all her feel, and the difference in terms of unforced errors, it's incredible. She made 5 unforced errors the entire first set. She's already made 2 more than that. And we're just 2 games into the second. Oh, what a shot, though. Maybe Rybakina starting to find her range.
Certainly would appear that way as these rallies starting to just push on a little longer. And you can see Rybakina holding that baseline really nicely.
That was better ball striking from Maddie. She just seemed to get into position a little bit quicker and almost had better racket head speed, which allowed her to get more spin on the ball, which created a bit more safety on her shots.
Lights. Person. Out. 30.
Storm, you're right. Once the feet start to move for Madison Keys, and if she's in position, that then drives the racket head speed, which creates shape. And I just think sometimes not quite there in position, and that's when she makes an unforced error. So it's been a strong rebound in this game, a chance to get on the board.
Yes.
That's much better. You could see the racket head speed through the contact point there from Keys. And that's the strategy she was employing throughout the first set. Just comfortable to go to the Rybakina forehand, not overplaying, giving herself more space to hit into. Maybe getting that confidence back.
Just long. So Madison Keys is on the board in this second set. She's taken the first set 6-3. Rybakina with a break, 2-1. So just staying not only hydrated, but with a bit of nourishment as well.
Time.
So plenty at stake here. A quarterfinals berth awaits for the winner of this one. Elena Rybakina up against Madison Keys. A little earlier, it was Elena Svitolina, who's been in wonderful form all tournament. Has had a straight sets win and is through to the quarterfinals, where the winner of this will play.
Lights. First serve. Out. 15-11.
We didn't necessarily expect to see a lot of long rallies between these two players, and these are two of the premier ball strikers. Had just a few rallies go past 9 shots.
I just wonder how natural both these guys got great serves. They've been well coached from a young age, and it's a difficult motion, the serve, to teach a youngster. But these guys have clearly both been taught very well from a young age, had good coaching.
And a lot of times what you look for in that serve is a continuous motion that doesn't have any unnecessary stops during the motion. That will hold up under pressure. You want a serve that you can rely on when things get just a little tight. Muscles aren't flowing quite as freely. And these two are two of the best.
And I think, Chanda, that they generate easy power. Like, it doesn't look like they're forcing the pace. They can serve at good pace and power for long periods.
Hold 17.
It's a good 1-2 punch from Rybakina and her willingness to get up to that ball quickly.
3 games to 1.
Yeah, the feet have started to move a little more, haven't they, in this second set?
You can see the difference. Not as flat-footed and a little bit quicker with her first step into the court on that last point. So these are good signs for Rybakina. Still plenty of tennis left to be played, especially with her having the break in hand here in the second set.
It's really out of character for me, this type of serving. We saw that from this same end when she came out and served in the first game of this second set.
Out. 15.
Yeah, that serve jamming Rybakina, just enough kick and enough spin for Rybakina to have trouble timing it. It's a safe serve and a good serve after a double fault to just steady herself.
I feel like Rybakina is doing a much better job to play on her terms now, and Maddie's actually having to do a little bit more defensive running, getting stuck a little bit behind the baseline.
The balls on these courts can bounce up just a little bit more, and it's even more important to stay down and through some of these shots. Rybakina just popping up on that last forehand. Some of those shots where she stays down a little bit better and behind it.
13, 14.
Backhand, she does a terrific job of doing it more naturally. On the forehand, maybe has to think about it a little more, but when she gets the forehand going like this, Keys on a yo-yo in that rally. This is a dangerous Rybakina.
use.
A little more demonstrative here, Rybakina, and she still has the break lead, but some frustration, still not feeling the game as cleanly as she would like. The heat also has to be coming into play, makes everybody a little irritable. Did for me sometimes.
Just lost a bit of momentum on this serve and the confidence to really go out after it. That one just sitting in the slot there for Rybakina. Sails long. So it's Rybakina with a... So a much better set of tennis so far for Elena Rybakina. A few too many unforced errors in the first set, but has hit back strongly. 4-1 double break lead.
That's it.
Quick serve down the tee from Rybakina, and you can see she's starting to feel it now, mixing it up. It's difficult now for Keys to try to read that shot, and Rybakina also starting to find more traction when she has to go to the second serve as well.
So things just going a little too quickly here for Madison Keys. Just has lost a little bit of confidence. And that is a quick service game, just 1 minute, 17 seconds. And 5-1. That's how quickly a player like Rybakina can strike back.
Yeah, it's happened fast. And right at the beginning of the second, you could see the drop in Keys' level. Can she hold here, at least make Rybakina have to serve out the second set?
Oh.
There had been a dip in the speed of first serves for Keys in this second set from the first to the second. And here's a look at the average speeds. First set, 178 kilometers per hour. In the second, it's dropped down 11 kilometers per hour,
which
167.
Yeah, that's significant. Do you think that's just concentration or intensity? It's hard to pinpoint, isn't it?
It's hard. I mean, you wonder if it's awareness as well. You know, she's started with the double faults and maybe just trying to place the serves. And she's gone more to the kick in this second set, trying to offset the doubles. So I think that's part of it. But it speaks to the loss of a bit of confidence on the serve and Rybakina.
And it's affected all her game. It's really transferred into all of Madison Keys' game. And all of a sudden, it's 2 set points for Rybakina. This set has been lightning.
30-40.
Keys maybe just saving the service game with that shot.
Yes. Advantage. Rybakina.
That did not miss by much, but it's 3 millimeters. But it's still another set point for Rybakina.
So it's a very quick and handy second set from Elena Rybakina. Wraps it up 6-1, and we're going the distance. Winner of this one, Elena Rybakina to serve first.
I think the first thing that Rybakina did a little bit better in is that when Keys left the court after the second set, Rybakina went too.
Yeah.
That's it.
And she needs to get going quickly here, Madison, because this is slipping by the wayside. So another quick game, just racing through service games, and the problem for Madison Keys not having any impact on return anymore.
Quickest holds yet, under a minute for Rybakina, and she sprinted through that second set, had a good bit of help, but what a start now to the third. And this just allows Rybakina to settle down a little more. Remember, she started moving better, getting her legs into position. That was one of the big changes, and then she started finding this rhythm on her serve. Now Keys has got to match her. That's an important part in any of these matches. You have these ebbs and flows. Nobody plays at one level straight through. You sometimes have little dips, and you got to pull it back. And this is a moment for Keys where she's got to compete and find a way to stay even. And it starts with holding her serve.
Yeah, she's got to do absolutely everything she can possibly do here to hold.
That's better. That's the push that Keys needs here.
30-15.
That was a much better point from Maddie. You could really see and hear the footwork from her really being intent, and the intensity she just raised it another level.
And that's not just a double fault. That's nearly hit the baseline, that second serve.
It's something going on with the serve for Keys. Started the second, and that serve, kick, very safe, but it was well beyond the baseline. And this is the difference between the sprints. Rybakina has been making Keys move more as this match has gone on, and starting to maybe pay some dividends.
So a break point for Rybakina. Didn't miss by much. And Bjorn Frantangelo, coach and husband of Madison Keys, a former player himself, just retired last year.
A little less disciplined. She was so disciplined in the first set. And of course, Rybakina was not playing as well, but that shot, that needs to go back cross court, and it needs a little more height. That was never going to be a winner.
Gift, isn't it?
Yes.
And Chandra, I don't know what you think, but you know, Madison's played 8 matches in the last couple of weeks. Maybe it's caught up with her a little bit all of a sudden.
It could. I mean, we saw how much more Keys has had to move so far in this match, the sprints between both players, and you know, just perhaps all of the matches, it's not just about fitness, it can be about mental fatigue as well.
Mm-hmm.
Advantage, Rybakina.
And it is the worst feeling to all of a sudden have it hit you in the middle of a match and you're fighting to get it back, fighting against yourself and what's going on.
Yes.
A couple of good first serves, though, when she needs it.
Yeah, these are the dips you have in a match where you just have to try and fight through till you get a bit of a second wind, or you can just regain that focus. And as Storm mentioned, the intensity. It has to happen quick, though, because Rybakina can really hurt you quickly.
Advantage, Rybakina.
And I feel like Rybakina's doing a really good job to see that Maddie's giving her a few unforced errors, and she's doing a great job to hit quality balls with high percentage and high margin.
Oh, that's a serve. Clutch under pressure once again.
Yeah, doing the right thing, just taking a bit of extra time here, trying to compose herself, Madison Keys.
Haven't really seen Bjorn Frantangelo look to say much during this match, regardless of how it's been going.
It was very much like that as well last week in Adelaide when she went on to win the title.
Advantage, Case.
Very low key.
He was talking a little bit more in that match against Rousset, her second round match, Keys, but this one, clearly, they feel she knows what she needs to do. It's just about executing.
Yes.
This is about as animated as we'll see Madison Keys. Now that's got to feel pretty good.
Advantage.
And maybe just the release
Keys.
of...
You could see Frantangelo just saying a little bit there in terms of keeping her head up on the serve, but this is a monster point at just the right moment for Keys. That'll get you pumped up.
Yeah, the release of emotion. Maybe the tension. That's a big hold from Madison Keys. Boy, did she need that just to stay in touch. 1-1, third set.
1 game over.
Now, you don't want to let Rybakina get a big lead. She also is a good front runner, as is Maddie Keys. And so to hold serve there, to stay even, keep a little bit of pressure in the match in terms of the score line, that was big. She closed nicely. Rybakina showing a little more confidence up there at the net, and you would expect, having Goran Ivanisevic on her team, that would be an area they're going to keep looking to improve.
Yeah, I agree. I know that was something when we got the chance to speak to Goran. It was a big focus in the off season, just to try and finish points up the net, improve.
Thirty, 50.
Things can change so quickly in a match like this when you've got firepower on either side of the court. And Rybakina now in a little bit of a struggle. Just taking a little extra time. Use a first serve here.
Now it's Rybakina who's going just through a little bit of a dip herself here.
From 30 love now, she's facing a break point. Now this is a hard reset.
And it's Madison Keys who strikes first in this third set with a break and leads 2-1 final set.
Keys leads 2-1.
The break for Madison Keys just was really on struggle street for the best part of that second set and early in this third, but she's found a way to regain some form and is up a break 2-1.
Love 15.
Maddie really needs to get a higher first percentage in, because even that second serve is just dropping shorter and shorter and right in the hitting zone of Rybakina.
Storm, do you think we're seeing any signs of fatigue from Madison here?
Definitely a little bit. The feet are kind of going in and out of working really hard and then sometimes getting a little bit flat-footed, but not surprising because playing such a hard hitter, you've got to be on both mentally and physically. The ball's coming onto you a lot faster, so you have to spend more energy to get ready and prepare as early as possible.
What a serve.
30-15.
Got on the extreme outside, right outside of the ball to create that incredible angle. Yeah, she's living a little dangerously here, Madison Keys, but she's coming up with some terrific serves behind the second serve, just creating more angle and getting Rybakina stretched out.
Yeah, that's what. Sometimes when you're in a bit of a dip, you just got to get up there and swing freely, and a point like that can just give you a real boost in confidence. So that's got to feel pretty good for Madison Keys. It's just the one break, but it's a bit of breathing space in a third set shootout.
And to hold a little more simply also after that tough hold that she had before, that helps as well. Just have a little more energy you can bring to try to break serve or just pressure your opponent.
This game feels big.
Yeah, and the goal here is to make Rybakina work for it if she's going to hold. Make her have to come up with something a little bit better. And Keys doing a terrific job the first point of the game.
Just maybe a little tentative with the feet there, just a little
on that one. You know, she could have cut it off a little bit better, but Rybakina doing a good job getting the first serves in. Those back-to-back points. Down love 15, that's high percentage tennis.
That's how you serve your way out of trouble. 3 excellent serves, and they've all been to the forehand side. Stays in touch here, Elena Rybakina, but it's Madison Keys with a break. 3-2 third set.
3 games to 2.
Hasn't had it all her own way. Still plenty to play for here. That's just deceleration. I feel like she's just lost a bit of leg strength. The legs drive the racket, and she's just decelerated.
That's got to help for Keys. Quick point, a quick miss from Rybakina off of that serve.
These sort of periods in the match, I feel, if you're Madison Keys, this is where you've really got to exaggerate the physicality. You know, on your toes when you're returning, try and, you know, keep that positive self-talk up. Really push yourself to move even more so than you normally want to. Chandler, whether it's nerves or whether it's fatigue, once the body starts to slow down, then you find yourself in trouble.
Well, you're looking for quicker points at times, and I think it's sometimes a combination of both, but you want the quick winner or the quick miss, and that last forehand from Keys, indicative of that.
Well, just a few gifts, I would call them, really. Missed returns. You just got to get that in play when you're down a break and you have a break point.
Rybakina missed returns on that ad side that she had more time on that. One she just hit there was the toughest one, and she hit by far her best return that she's hit in a while. Backed it up at the net, closing off the court.
Well, we're back at 3 games all. It's Rybakina with a break back.
And it's so much about adjustments that players make during these matches, and Rybakina just made a huge one. She had been missing those returns. The last 1-0 service game that Keys served, and then that one she'd missed a couple returns on break points. That one got a little more air under it, didn't go for as much. Here she is back even.
Rybakina does that so well when she does have a few opportunities and doesn't quite execute. She just hits with a little bit more shape. Even that forehand then, Maddie hit a really good return, and Rybakina just redirecting, not going for as much.
That's a fine line between still trying to drive through these ground strokes, because you know the player on the other side can pounce if you pop anything up. And then the misses because there's not quite enough margin.
Well, 2 incredibly well-clubbed forehands. The first one was massive. The second one just held it a fraction, Chanda. You can see this one's enormous, but have a look at the discipline. Just waited till her opponent committed.
And I would argue that second one was the tougher one. She had more time to think about it. More could go wrong. And look at the spin she gets on it.
Incredible hitting from Madison Keys. It's a break, and she leads 4-3, final set.
Keys leads 4-3.
And there was almost nothing Rybakina could do about those last few points of the game.
Yeah, that was out of the blue, wasn't it? Because I felt when Keys lost her serve there at 3-0, she just looked a little fatigued, a little mentally flat, and all of a sudden that is a great rebound.
When it's almost like she saw the backhand miss from Rybakina on the second point of the game, and maybe that just allowed her to say, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to swing away. I mean, that's Rybakina's best side, and she's still missing. I'm going to just let it all hang out, and what a finish.
8 points. But in here on Margaret Court Arena, it's Madison Keys up a break.
Lovely team.
Redirect.
Well, sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and I'm not saying this was all luck, but she stayed low, got down very low, and excellent hands from Madison Keys to have that control. Oh. This serve has been so damaging all summer for Keys.
And she's got it back going. Lost it for a little part of that second set, a good portion of it, but found it the second game of this third set.
Oh. Down to big time now. Huge serves from Madison Keys, and she is one game away from a quarterfinals berth.
Keys leads 5-3.
Great extension. The left arm goes up. She stays up nice and tall and then reaches up at full extension. Really one of the great servers in the game of tennis, Madison Keys.
Rybakina's got to be wondering what just happened. She broke for 3-all, and it seemed like she was right there, and then all of a sudden Keys has just taken the last couple of games. Hasn't been much Rybakina could do about it.
Well, that has only just got it, surely. 3 millimeters in. I think when Rybakina hit it, she actually felt it could have been out.
She thought it, I think, could go either way. It was more out than in, but she'll take it. All she can do now is just hold serve and then put it back on Keys' racket.
You've got to like the aggression we're seeing from Madison Keys.
She looks so confident out there, and it took her a minute to get back to this type of hitting, but why not go for it? It's Rybakina up against it, and Keys so comfortable in all these areas of the court.
Full flight now.
That's you.
Full of confidence. And the crowd absolutely enjoying this display of hitting.
Maddie is just absolutely locked in right now, and you can just see it in her eyes that she is wanting to play these on her terms right now.
Quality 13.
Get the feeling, Chanda, that Keys would love to try and finish it here.
No question about it. Keep this train rolling. Close it out here if at all possible.
Has not backed down at all, Madison Keys, in this last 5 minutes, and is on the verge. It's match point.
Advantage, Keys. Yes.
That's beautifully done. Now you gotta like what Rybakina's putting out there.
Advantage, Rybakina.
This is a bold play, a bold point, and it was what she needed. Withstanding the change of pace from Keys, moving beautifully up at the net.
I mean, the shot making's been phenomenal from both players.
Yes.
This last game, this particular game has given us everything we could have hoped for in this match. Both players are now all of a sudden at this incredibly high level. Rybakina just trying to keep herself in this.
Advantage, Keys.
And again, Madison Keys all-out attack here with match point number 2. Sensational stuff, Madison Keys.
6-1, 6-3,
Into the quarterfinals at the Australian Open. What a performance. 3-set winner over Elena Rybakina. That was incredible.
Madison Keys continues to impress.